So today we are going to talk about something that is not the best thing to talk about, not something nice to hear actually, but unfortunately I have to do it because there is no other way around it, and I didn't want to come out and talk about it because I know that for some people it's like breaking of a dream. Like when I wanted to work for United Nations, it was a dream job for me. Then I worked for them for 9 years, and I did get to manage to like 26, 27 projects worth around $1.1 billion annually. And then finally I saw how everything was. You lose your dream, you lose your faith, and that is not the best experience. And unfortunately, today's video is going to be something like that. I'm going to talk about money, dollar, and the rest of the currencies in the world. I'm going to talk about gold, and I'm going to come to Bitcoin, the whole point of making this video, and I'm going to talk about the ETF. And of course, you can see the title says Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, sorry, ETF, the death of Bitcoin. So in the beginning, what they did is that they wanted to create currency. They decided to announce that here is a currency note. A currency note is an IOU, which means that the person who is giving it to you, they owe you, okay? But you need a sales pitch. Whenever you're doing something, you need a sales pitch for it. So they made a lot of stories, but one of the common, reasonable, logical story they sold was that, look, all you guys who have so much gold at house, it's really hard to manage. You need to have guards for it to protect it with the guns and stuff. And it's in multiple kgs. It's not easy to move. Let us help you. Us, the government, through the banks, the good people, the bankers, they will take care of it. It will be a centralized security. All the gold will be in one place, and the level of security will be way more than what you can do. And on top of it, we will give you insurance that if something happens to it, we will cover you. So give your gold to us and we will do that for you. And in return, we will give you IOUs, okay, the paper. Whenever you go to the bank, you give the paper to them, they will give you the gold. And that thing continued until 1933. Very latest, right? 1933 doesn't sound so far. It's like less than 100 a year. So until 1933, you could go and you could give them a $20 bill and they would give you a gold coin. And I'm talking about United States. But then came in Franklin Roosevelt in 1933. He said, no more gold. You guys don't deserve it. We are not going to give you gold anymore. And they did this in a very smooth manner. People couldn't fight back or couldn't do anything about it. All of a sudden, the gold everyone had, it disappeared. It went to the government. They used that gold for other purposes. And that's how they received their big chunk of deposit, and the game started. The game of bigger expansion started. So they did this from the time of the first Great Depression, and it was very good methodology because they came up with a system through which they can continue to collect funds. Later on, they went, and in 1944, the guy, what was his name? I think it was Brenton Woods something. That guy, he went out and he told everyone that you can peg your currencies, all the world currencies, to the dollar, and the dollar is pegged to gold. Again, use the gold, same story. And then in 1971, I think it was Richard Nixon, he came in, he said that, okay, you guys have pegged it to the dollar, but there is no gold backing the dollar anymore. So if you want to continue to peg, let it be. And they couldn't do anything. You get someone used to something, you do something for 30 years or more, okay, for decades, and then you come and introduce something else. It doesn't work like that. And this was a very smart move because all these people who were scheming this, they continuously worked on making this IOU, which is called dollar, stronger and stronger, because first they used the gold story and sold it to their own people. after taking all that from them, then they went around the world and then they took it from them as well, and then they pegged it to dollar. Until today we can see it's pegged. And then later on they thought that, okay, all this gold is sitting, what to do with it? They thought, okay, let's do it one more time. This time we will introduce it as an ETF. And in 2003 they applied for ETF. In 2004 it got approved. So the ETFs were it is called as paper gold. So they said, you know, again, the beauty of it is that again people fell for it. First time it was in the shape of money. This time same gold that actually belonged to the people, the same gold was sold to them again. It's like I take something from you and then I sell it to you. It's that crazy, but beautifully it is artistic, I would say, the way it is played out. It's beautiful. Moving forward, they learned that they have done that, and with the ETFs the beauty is that they were able to give out more shares of ETF for gold than the gold exists. Again, the same thing they did with money, but with money they decided to just completely make it free. Print as much as you want and issue. No one is going to come and hold your hand, that kind of situation. With ETFs, they are a bit more careful. So there is imbalance. There would be like 2 shares for 1 gold sometimes. No one is there to control them, right? They're big boss. That's how it is considered. Otherwise, the relationship between government and you is very clear. Government is your slave. They're supposed to work for you. It's like telecommunication company. You get a SIM card, they're supposed to serve you, right? And you pay them for the service, which is tax in this case. But some people think they are God. But anyway, that's a whole separate discussion. Then coming back to the approval of ETF for Bitcoin. Now, if you see that over the period, they have tried all the schemes. When they entered this era of internet, they thought of something else. And this makes sense for me, that Bitcoin was created by the government. They have like 270,000 Bitcoins or 300,000 Bitcoins. The government of US has it. FBI and CIA, they all have it. And of course, Satoshi Nakamoto, again, being them, they still have it. And that makes more sense why this person is not coming out. So they found a new way of getting money from people, which again, later on will become a source of ETF, which is happening now, right? So my problem is not that. Bitcoin is the best thing that has happened to humanity. I'm totally up for crypto. If I'm not a supporter of Bitcoin, that's a separate story. But the thing is that I am full on crypto. I do crypto all day. And it's like a life motto for me. So I'm not against crypto. It's just that I understand what has happened. Now, the problem with ETF is that it's going to be the same currency situation. They again tell you that it's high risk. It's not easy for you to keep it. You know, it's not secure. It's hard to manage. You can get hacked. This can happen to you. That can happen to you. Just like the gold story. Let us do it for you. We will legalize it. We'll manage it for you. And you just get this paper Bitcoin and we will do the rest. In this way, they are going to create more Bitcoins than they exist, because the supply is 21 million, right? But the ETFs, they can be so massive, as much as they want. And that is how I think this is going to be the death of Bitcoin. The only thing that was keeping it away from inflation is going to get inflated through ETF. And for the creator of it, let's not name them anymore, it's the money game. First, sell them something, take the money, apart from the first time where they actually gave you the paper and took your gold. After that, they have only sold something that they have created. And actually, it has been the same case. They give you a paper, just the last time they give you Bitcoin. Apart from that, every time they have never given you anything solid. They have always given you something that is meaningless, and it has turned into a valuable thing. So ETFs is going to saturate, is going to exploit Bitcoin. And I don't think Bitcoin will stay valuable in the future, and there will be no money to make in altcoins anymore.